The main reason I go on the Stairmaster every day is to people watch. I love people watching. It's such a fun hobby. And you get in shape at the same time when you do it on the Stairmaster.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see several women showing us why being the guy stuck in the friend zone is the worst thing that can happen to a man. We'll also look at how one woman dated a Chad and paid a high price for it. I'm not asking for anything more than your like. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 likes on this video. Leave a comment sharing your experience and wisdom. We always pin the best comment for the community. Subscribe, and let's get started.
Why does the friend zone exist?
For losers who are meant to be there.
Are you guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you say yeah, you say no.
We are not in a relationship. No.
Would you say he's in the friend zone?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend.
Oh, you do have a
Yes,
boyfriend.
not him.
If you go for the guy that treats you like trash because he's exciting, just remember that that man is not afraid to lose you. And that's because he doesn't really care for you that much. And you're never going to change that. So once you date a few of these guys, one after another, that's when you're going to look around and say, where are all the good guys? And I'm going to tell you, that good guy left your friend zone years ago to find his queen. I don't know about you, do what you want, but I'd rather be the queen.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
No, that advice doesn't work. In life, as a man, you get what you tolerate. If you treat her like a star, she'll always see you as a fan. That kind of humiliation is unacceptable. On top of that, the guy said he was in a relationship, and she said he wasn't. There's definitely something going on there, and that was the moment to speak up. Brothers, never stay in any woman's friend zone. They're not as special as you think. With so many women out there, you'll end up being a simp for one who doesn't respect or admire you. Just another option to her, and one that never really counts. I'd rather be rejected 1,000 times than keep being someone's toy. I never idealize women, and that's why I'm telling you, she's not as special as you think. Because even if you're not the one with her, some other guy already used her and didn't see her as anything special. Learn to stand up for your self-respect, so life doesn't make you accept this kind of trash behavior.
If a bunch of men approach you in public, you need to stop taking that as a compliment. That's actually an insult. Unless they're a bunch of sharks approaching you, that should be taken as an insult. If it's a bunch of Nemos and Lil Nemos and regular men and Dusties approaching you, they thought that you were so intimidating that it was okay for them to come up to you, waste your time, and ask you for your number because they just knew you were going to give it to them because they just knew you were in their league. Only the 1%, the top percent of men should be approaching you. Like, it's quality over quantity. I really hate when girls be like, I get niggas. That's the easiest thing to get. Do you get quality niggas? This is not for everyone either. This is for a certain target audience. The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. This is about using your beauty and investing even your last dollar into your appearance to use your beauty to get a softer, easier life. It's about working smarter, not harder. Unfortunately, in today's society, but it's the hard reality, so save your comments. A woman's beauty will get her much farther than any degree will. Unfortunately. You guys need to stop letting these thirsty men boost your head up, get you comfortable, and hold you back from being the baddest bitch that you could be. There's always room for improvement. So if a lot of men are approaching you, that's not a compliment. Unless he's the big dog, top shark, you need to go look in the mirror and figure out what you need to do to become a better bitch. And what could these little Nemos do for you anyway besides tell you good morning? Like, and give you a wet ass and send you home in an Uber. Uber X. Not even a black truck.
Hell to the no, no. Hell no.
This woman clearly belongs to the streets. She's one of those who gets pregnant by multiple Chads and ends up being the baby mama of 3 or more kids. Just by listening to her, you can tell she never talks about looking for a man with real qualities. Everything revolves around money. What she doesn't understand is that a man will spend on her what he thinks she's worth. A man with money investing in you to give you gifts or entertainment doesn't mean he's in love. It means you're a pastime his money can afford. That's very different from the average guy who gives you everything because he genuinely wants a relationship with you. But they want the winner, just waiting at the finish line. That's why the wall keeps collecting, because the wall doesn't forgive.
Boyfriend, so.
Wait, ex-boyfriend?
Yep.
She calls us friends, but I don't consider us friends.
What do you guys consider each other?
Technically still figuring it out, but I'm the one she calls when she needs to cry. I've tried.
It's a work in progress. So is everything.
It's one work in progress.
So you guys are just trying to work on things?
See how it goes.
I'm trying to work on things.
If he gave you a guilt-free pass to sleep with anybody in the world, would you use it?
Yeah.
On who?
Zac Efron, Josh Bowman, some celebrity, hot celebrity. You turn that down? Mm-mm. Couldn't do it.
Alright, what if it was the other way around?
I know what I'm worth. One night with one celebrity doesn't change who I am.
So you wouldn't use it?
Even
There's
if I
no
gave
point.
it to you?
No. Because it sounds like a trap. If your significant other is willing to give you a one night stand with anybody in the world, it sounds like a trap for your loyalty. Fuck that.
The one who stays loses, brothers. When I see stuff like this, it worries me. Masculinity has been lost. That girl clearly isn't into that guy. He's hooked on her, but she doesn't care. She only calls him to be entertained, to get taken out to eat, or to have someone listen while she talks about the guy she actually likes. If this man were to tell her clearly when she calls, "Sorry, but I have romantic intentions with you. I'm not interested in being just your friend. If your intention is to go out with me to build something, great. But if not, move on." I can bet she'd get mad, but she wouldn't forget it. He'd be on her mind all day. The fear of losing that man would either make her insult him or call him to start something. It's better to risk losing it all than to stay a simp forever.
Women.
The biggest difference when it comes to dating for men and women is a man will only date when he's ready. He'll actually only commit in a relationship and stick with that relationship when he is fully ready. He could be dating the perfect girl, but in his mind, if he's not ready to actually take dating seriously and actually be in a relationship, he will not date you because he is not ready yet. Where with girls, if you meet a man that is perfect in every way, shape, and form, he's the man of your dreams. He is the one. He's someone that you really, really like. And you're like, whoa, I never thought that I could feel this way. You, even if you're not ready, even if you feel like you need to work on yourself more, you will do what it takes to be able to get on that level. You will move mountains. You will become the best version of yourself because they make you want to be the best version of yourself. So no matter what happens, you're going to be like, okay, I need to see this through. I know maybe I'm not ready right now. I know maybe it's not the time, but I want to make it work. Where men will settle when they are ready. They could have dated the girl of their dreams. They could have fumbled the girl of their dreams. They could have been the one. But if the timing wasn't right, then they've lost her and they'll settle when they're ready for the one that's right in front of them. I do believe incredible men are hard to come by. So I feel like when women see a good man come around, they know no matter what, they got to snatch it up real quick or they're going to disappear right off the bat.
Stop it. Get some help.
This isn't about whether the man is ready or not. This is about the fact that he didn't choose you. Period. Men aren't judged by how many women they can have, but by the one they choose to stay with. A man can be with several, but when he finds one who respects him, supports him, and inspires him to lead, that's where he settles. If he didn't do that with you, then you weren't her. A man commits when he finds a woman with values, who treats him well, who supports him. Women, on the other hand, commit to the one who gives them status, security, and position. But one thing's for sure, they'll never stop being hypergamous. The rules have changed, and now men also know that if they don't get real value, they won't stay. There's no ring for someone who doesn't help you grow.
Well, here I am, joining the millions of other women in their 30s on TikTok of why it's so hard to date now. And how men have the audacity to do what they do sometimes. Like, Seriously. So here's my fun date story from a couple days ago. So I met this guy on Hinge. All right. You know, we matched. He was in the age range. It was a little bit lower than I normally go for, but, you know, as we all try to say, age is just a number, right? It's just a number. Well, I'm not going to say his name, but we're going to just call him Steve. Okay? Steve. Steve works in the aviation industry at another airport, which is nice because they understand, you know, the lingo, lifestyle, things like that. It's nice. It's a nice, you know, just, it works out. So on multiple occasions, Steve and I have tried to meet up, but our schedules just hadn't worked out, which is understandable. It's fine. Like, I get his schedule, he gets my schedule, you know, yada, yada. Well, a couple nights ago, he was closer to my side of town because he actually lives on the other side of the bridge. So where I was at in relation to where he was just fairly close. And I said, you know, I've been out tonight. Like, I really don't feel comfortable driving, you know, and things like that. So he said, okay, well, no worries. Like, I'll buy your Uber so you can come hang out. And, you know, I'm third wheeling, which is not great, but yeah, come hang out. And I was like, all right, sure. So it's not like he doesn't know what I look like or anything like that. He's had my socials. Like I said, we were talking on Instagram. Didn't exchange phone numbers. It's just, I don't really give my phone number out unless I really, really want to. But for the most part, I don't. Because as we all know, guys are crazy and they will randomly just start texting you at like 3 a.m, like, you know, drunkenly. Anyway, so he sends me the Uber. I go and I meet up with them and it gives me a hug, you know, nice to actually see him in person, you know, the niceties, greeting, you know, whatever. We go inside, he orders, a couple drinks and he's like, oh yeah, those are my friends over there. And I see them like on the other side of the bar and, you know, stuff like that. So we walk over, introduce myself, you know, lets him know like who I am and things like that. And he's like, oh, we're playing pool. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And so it's him, Steve, his friend, we're going to call him, no, we'll just say his name. His name was Ryder, and the girl's name was Sam. Actually, I really don't remember if that's her name or not, but whatever, her name's fucking Sam. So, Ryder and Sam are standing next to each other, and I'm sitting there talking to Steve. And, as they're waiting for their turn to play pool, you know, whatever. And I'm sitting there on the, you know, bar stool. I had my cowboy boots on. I had shorts on. Like, I looked cute because I was out line dancing, like, not even an hour or two before that. So people are coming up to me, be like, oh my God, I love your boots. You look so cute, you know, whatever. Like, it was nice. I was like, wow, okay, cool. I've never been to this bar. It's kind of a hole in the wall, but, you know, whatever. Well, the girl just, you can tell by body language. I mean, you can tell everything by body language, let's be honest. And the girl was standing so close to Ryder, which was sitting next to me. So it's me here, Ryder, and then Sam, you know, whatever. And she's just like leaning over, looking at me, like kind of whispering on, you know, the other side of, you know, his ear or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is getting really fucking awkward. I'm like, I was like, hey, you got something to say, Sam? Like, what's going on? You know, kind of calling her out because it's making me uncomfortable and I'm just going to, you know, call it out right now. So then she walks away and she's over on the other side of the pool table because that's where Steve is, and they're sitting there chatting, and you know she's like leaning on him and kind of being touchy-feely and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm kind of getting...
I won't go too deep into this, since this woman's story on the wall is already interesting as it is. Let's keep watching to see how it ends.
In the situation of like, what's going on here? So then I start a conversation with Ryder, and I'm like, hey, Ryder, you know, like, how do you know them, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, she's a girl at the gym that I work out with, and you know, and that's one of my good friends, and I've known him for like 3 years. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, it's not your girlfriend? And he was like, oh no. And I was like, huh, okay, this is weird. So then we just started playing darts or something else because we were just sitting there. Then my best friend texted me and I told her where we were at. I was like, yeah, come up here. I didn't kind of give her any sort of understanding of what the situation was because it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like it was an exclusive date or anything. We were just all, you know, basically hanging out. And so she shows up she meets everyone and she could see what Sam's doing and assume that Sam and Steve were together. And then she found out after the fact that that wasn't the case. And so, which we'll get there in a moment. So then I leave to go to the bathroom. I come back out. Both Sam and Steven are like missing. I've kind of left out some other bits and points, but like he would sit there and talk to me. You know, he was asking me questions and things like that. So like we didn't have conversations here and there, but yeah. It just got to the point where it felt like there's definitely something else going on here. So I go to the bar to get a drink, like some water. And there was a guy at the bar who was in the Coast Guard that Sam had talked to at some point. So I remember seeing her talk to him and they were talking about my red boots. And I was like, yeah, hey, like, you know, you got something about my red boots. Like, what's going on? And then basically, what I found out was that Sam was trying to get the guy to come over to talk to me. And I was like, okay, this is whatever. All right. So Steven's friend Ryder came up and we got more of the information from him as like, oh yeah, he likes to do this, you know, he's done this before and I end up always being the DD and all this stuff. And I'm like, does what exactly? And basically Ryder was like, oh yeah, he likes to bring out girls to make other girls jealous. And I was like, I mean, I figured that out already before he kind of openly admitted it. I was like, wow. Well, that's a way to do it. Well, clearly it seems to be working because they pissed off somewhere else. So, So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, that's a bunch of bullshit. So you're going to have a girl come to a bar to ever sit there and talk to you and tell the other girl that you invited her because you were trying to talk to her. Like, really? This is what we're doing. So at this point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go say something to this motherfucker. So I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I walk outside and there he is with Sam. I walk up to Steven. I was like, you know, Steven, it's kind of crazy that you would invite another girl just to make her jealous. Like, really? I was like, you really need to try something else next time. I was like, also, while you're at it, why don't you go home and just take her home and put her to bed? Because clearly she needs you to do so. And she's like, oh, we're just friends. I'm like, girl, no. I was like, don't even with me. And then I was like, I was like, that's pathetic. I was like, that's a pathetic excuse for you to try to get another woman. I mean, I'll take the compliment. Thanks for letting me be the one to make her jealous because I am definitely better looking than her. Yeah, good luck. Next time you do that again, pretty sure it's not going to be as nice of an interaction it is that I'm having with you right now. So good luck. I think you also should go get your friend Ryder that you're clearly using as a DD. Like, that's fucked up. I was like, you have a good rest of your night. And I went inside, called my best friend, and I left. Immediately blocked him on Instagram because I'm like, this is fucking pathetic. Like, I sent him a message and then I just like blocked him. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. But really? This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now. Wow. Well, I am it's comical. And I couldn't believe it happened. That's why it's just a really fun story. Hopefully I won't have any other crazy ones like that, but yeah, like absolute garbage. Trying to date in your 30s. It's garbage.
Steven was never interested in her, and that was obvious from the very first second. What we saw here was the usual, a Chad with plenty of options, dodging a woman who's already laid in the game. What's interesting is that he didn't even try to hide it. He just passed the ball to Ryder. And Ryder, he's the typical second option. He takes what Steven throws away. It's not that he lacks value. It's that he's already accepted that his place is to pick up what someone else didn't want. And honestly, that's sadder than what's happening to the woman. Steven is the kind of guy who knows he doesn't have to try hard because he holds the biological and social advantage in this game. Youth, looks, and status. She, on the other hand, no longer has the same market value she had at 22, but still believes she can play the same game. That's the sad part about hitting the wall, having to endure situations like this. Because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about this woman's take on dating? Have you ever been the guy stuck in the friend zone? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.